on the built into the board. And these also support 20 points of touch, which means that you can have 20 individual fingers or styluses touching the board at the same time and interacting with it. And these are ultra durable. They're purpose-built for schools. So they're impact, shatter resistant. Don't try this, but I think you can probably kick a soccer ball at it if you want to. As for physical controls, those can be found at the bottom right part of the board here. And down there, you have a power button, a home button, which gets you to this main screen here, and also a back button and settings, which is that little gear icon. And that settings button is great for changing inputs on the board. And also, there's a volume down and volume up physical button on the board also. And also located on the left side of the board are magnetic stylus holders.
Yeah, they're saying that they're having a hard time hearing you.
Sorry. Speak up. All right. As for wirelessly connecting to the board, as far as connections to the board, there's both a wireless and wired option. Some of the pros of the wireless option are it's convenient. There's no cords. It works with both staff laptops and student Chromebooks without any additional software. But it's not the best for watching videos since there's a little bit of latency and there's no touch input. So with the wire connection, if you have a USB cable, you can connect that to your laptop along with the HDMI cable and have touch interactions with the board, and it'll control your laptop. And this is also the best way to watch videos since there's no latency. And some of the cons are you're tethered, you have wires. As far as connecting wirelessly, at the home screen on the board, open the display app, which looks like this on the right side here. And then on your laptop, go to this URL. And this URL is actually also in your CCSD21 links folder, labeled ViewSonic Screencast. So once you have the display app open on the board, you'll have the display code shown on the board and also the one-time password. The display code stays the same for each board. So if you're in the same classroom, you won't have to type that in every single time. You will, however, have to type in the password, which expires every 30 seconds. So yeah, let me type this information in. And then once you type in the information, then you have the option to share your entire screen, a window, or a Chrome tab. So you can select the screen, and then if you want to share audio, click this checkbox down here, and then click on Share. All right, as far as wire connections go, each classroom had a new AV box that looks like this installed. And if you want to connect, so you'll connect your HDMI cable to your laptop, and then if you want touch input, you'll connect the USB cable into USB port 1 on the AV box, and then connect that to the USB port on your laptop. And it should automatically switch inputs when you plug the HDMI cable in, but if you need to, that port is connected to HDMI input 2 on the board. Okay, now we'll go over the whiteboard app.
Hey, Matt, can I ask a question really quick?
Yeah.
If you are in more than one classroom, will it remember both of your display codes? I know the password always changes, but I know like if you're only in one classroom, you don't have to keep entering the display code. But what if you're in multiple classrooms?
If you're I think there's a drop-down that saves your most recent display codes. Yeah. Yes, there is a drop-down, so let me share my screen again here. So on the myviewboard.com/display, there's a little arrow here. You can select that, and then it should show your most recent display codes. Anything else? All right. Now we'll go over the whiteboard app. So to get to the whiteboard app, go to the home screen of your board, and then open up the whiteboard app. The first thing we'll probably have you do is log in with your Google account. This will allow you to save and open whiteboard files straight from your Google Drive. And also, I'll get into this a little bit later, but also insert documents from your Google Drive directly onto the canvas. So to log in, you'll tap on the little person icon on the bottom right, and then tap on the Google G icon. This will redirect you to a place where you can enter in your district email and password. And once you're successfully logged in, you'll have to go back home and open up the whiteboard app. And if you successfully logged in, you'll see your little picture in the bottom right, or your email address and a picture in the top left up there. All right, first we'll go into page management. So on these canvases, you can have multiple pages for each whiteboard file. So to add a page, you will go to the blue page icon plus here, and you can select add multiple pages. And then to manage these pages, tap on the number icon to the right of it, and here you can rearrange pages and also delete pages that you don't want anymore. Next, we'll go into changing background. For that, you'll click on or tap on the round icon in the bottom left corner. And here you can change the background. There's also some preloaded backgrounds that you can. You can apply it to all pages or just one page at a time. And then you can also upload your own if you have a USB drive. But you can't do it from Google Drive, unfortunately. And you can also add grid lines too. Going into the pen and drawing tool, that can be found down in the toolbar here. You'll tap once to select and then tap twice to get options, where you can select different marker colors, different thicknesses, and transparencies. Next, we'll go into shapes and lines, which is 2 spots over. Tap once to select, tap again to get options for different 2D shapes. And also different 3D shapes and lines and graphs. And just like the marker tool, you can change the thickness, the transparency, and the color of the shape. All right, next we'll go into text editor, which is the little key on the toolbar. This will pull up the on-screen keyboard, so then you can type out different text if you don't want to write it out. Next, the magic box. So this is where you can insert documents from your Google Drive. So if you tap on the magic box, go to the little drive icon up there. Go into my drive.
Matt,
yes.
Quick question. Yep. The pens, will they just stay on the board? Like, they're not going to be part of that tech bin, right?
They will be part of the tech bin, but if you want to store them, the magnetic holder is on the bottom left here and kind of sits there. So once you're in your drive and you have a file you want to select, I'll just select this test one I have. Click a page and import. If you tap on the page and then hit this little red lock button, you can move it around your canvas and have it displayed. Also in the Magic Box, you can insert YouTube videos. So you can play a YouTube video straight from your canvas. Unfortunately, you can't go full screen, but it still is a pretty good picture and has full sound. You can move this around your whiteboard. Right, and then let's go into erase. So there's a few options to erase. If you tap on the erase option, the default is spot erase, so you can just use your stylus to just erase a little bit. You can also erase, you can do select erase. If you tap the eraser again, tap on the lasso tool, you can draw a circle around the thing that you want to erase. And you can also erase all by tapping on the trash can icon there. That erases everything on the page. And say you want to undo that action, there's undo and redo buttons on the toolbar down here. Yep.
Couple of questions. One, when do you think the tech boxes will be ready to be given to teachers?
Hopefully by the beginning of the school year, but our tech support specialists getting those ready, and hopefully by the end of this week, if not Monday.
Great, thank you. And those will be in the LMCs?
Yes.
Yeah, so just go to the LMC by Monday.
Yeah, I think we'll have the tech support specialists, I think, send an email out to your school once they're ready for pickup.
Also, if they're presenting a Google slideshow, they will be able to present videos that are embedded in the Google slideshow.
Yeah, so that'll be similar to how the projectors work. So you can just either connect, hardwire or connect wirelessly, and then be able to play it that way.
Yeah. Okay. And then also, can you go full screen with videos if you're wired?
Yes. Yeah. You just can't go full screen with YouTube videos if you're using that Magic Box directly on the canvas.
Right.
But if you're just
if you're just projecting or just playing your screen like a YouTube video, you can go full screen. Yes. Yep. How do you log out of your Google account before leaving a room?
They're set to automatically log you out after 30 minutes of an activity, but if you want to log out, tap on your little picture here. And then there's a little red, I don't know if you can see it, there's a red icon here for logging out.
And the auto logout notification, it's just if there's no activity. If you're not interacting with the board for 30 minutes, it'll auto log you out, not just every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You're actually using it. Sandy says she's signed in with her Google account but can't open the Google Drive. She keeps getting a binding error.
That's something I have to add to the instructions, but
Sandy.
Oh, Sandy. So you have to go to. I can go over that once at the end.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something I have to add to the instructions that you have to bind your Google Drive account in My Viewboard on your laptop.
So I'm going to let Matt continue because there's just another couple, but we can do that at the end. Some other questions. I saw it kind of a question in there, but we can wait on that.
Okay. Select tool. All right, I'm going to draw. So for the select tool, that's a little box with a cursor. For that, you can draw around objects, and then you can move these objects, that you've drawn around, all around the screen. You can also select individual objects, move them around, and also rotate them. So you can turn yellow from upside down.
That's cute.
All right, and then next, pick canvas. So say that you have a bunch of objects on the screen and you're running out of room. With the little hand icon here, the infinite canvas, you can move the canvas around, also pinch and zoom, and move things over, and then have a bunch of space over here. If you tap again, you can kind of see like a bird's eye view of your entire canvas to move it around. Lastly, the folder icon down here. This is where you can save that. Save directly to your Google Drive. You just tap on the Drive icon, select the folder you want to save it to, and give it a name and save it. Same with Open. So when you open the whiteboard app, hit Open. Go to your Drive, navigate to the file that you saved it as, and then open it up, and it'll pop up on the screen. All right, next we'll go into toolbar, the floating toolbar. So this is available on every screen, no matter what you're doing. So if you're wirelessly casting, if you're hardwired, anything, this toolbar will be available. So to access it, go to the little arrow icons on the right side or the left side of the screen, and you'll have access to these tools.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to take your mask down, you could.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this toolbar is available whenever, no matter what screen you're on. So, and it's available on the left side or the right side of the screen, there's little arrows. So on the toolbar, you have the back key, like the physical one down here, home button, app switcher, view all apps, and then you also have quick access to the whiteboard app also. And one tool I think you guys will use a lot is the drawing tool. So what this does is it freezes the screen and kind of takes a screenshot, and then you can annotate over whatever is displayed on the board. So if you want to annotate over a presentation you have, you can do that with this. And you can also change the pen color and also erase too. Next is an actual screen freeze button that just does a screen freeze of whatever's displayed on the board. And there's also one on your remote control that'll be in your tech box also. Next tool is Spotlight. So what this does is kind of if you want to highlight something on the screen, and then with this gear icon here, you can change the transparency of it and also the width or diameter of the circle. And you can move it around the board. Last, there's also a stopwatch that can be available all the time, and also a timer. All right, the last thing we'll go over is document cameras. So USB document cameras will be very easy to connect. For those, you'll just connect the USB cable directly to one of the USB ports on the bottom right of the board here. And then an icon should pop up. If it doesn't, then you might have to reseat it, replug in. And once it does, you can just tap on the camera 1 icon here, and the doc cam will display full screen on the board. For VGA doc cameras, there is still a VGA port on the bottom of the display that you can connect to, but we're trying to make an order so we can replace all those VGA older doc cams. So hopefully, stay tuned, we'll have more information come. All right, otherwise, I think that's it.
Okay, I'm going to ask Jennifer's question really quickly. That's the only one I think that's sort of left out there. She asked, where do we find the VCast Sender app?
In order to wirelessly cast, you'll want the display app. So that is the one that looks like this here, and also in the instructions. The VCast Sender is a different casting app. For our purpose, we're using the display app.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Can you use the draw function while using the doc camera?
Yes, we can test it right now. So yeah, that floating toolbar is available no matter what you're doing on the screen. So if I open it here, open the drawing tool.
So right now, Matt's using the doc camera with the paper copy of the classroom display guide.
Yep, and it kind of just takes a screenshot of what was displaying when you press the button, and then you can draw over it. So it's kind of just, the drawing tool is like a screen freeze, but you can also draw with it too.
We have had a few concerns about the sound. Somebody says, we hope this isn't the sound students are going to hear. It's not clear. So I'm just wondering, because they won't generally be remote presenting, but sometimes it could be. So like, if this is just using a computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, well, let us know if you have any ongoing concerns or if it does become an issue in your classroom. But Jennifer said her password isn't showing. You mean the password, Jennifer, for your board, your ViewSonic board? You should see a display code and then a password.
Yeah, it only gives me the display code, not the password. That's why it says, please open the VCast Sender app to enter the password.
Make sure you're opening the display app. You should have this screen open here.
Okay, I'll try again. Thanks.
Yep.
And Jamie asks, can you show how to access your drive again?
Yeah. From the whiteboard. Sure. Yeah. Let me log back in. Any other questions?
Somebody else asked, how do we pull up things from our drive?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What is the name of the old dot cameras again?
They were like the Aver ones. It's like the big black ones that connect via VGA cables.
Yeah, they're big black ones. The USB ones are like skinny with like Matt's gonna show it.
Yeah, it's
like
there's also one that's black. Also, those are Aver or something. But if it connects via USB, then you can plug directly in. If it's VGA, you have to go into the VGA port on the bottom of the display here. So if you want to insert docs or docs from your drive, you'll log in and then tap on the magic box, the box or cardboard box with blue icons in it, and then go to the drive icon, and then you'll be able to select your drive, and then just navigate wherever you saved that file to, and then you'll be able to open it up onto your board. So you select import. If you tap on it, you can unlock it by tapping on the red lock here, and then move this around the board. And it's kind of just, you can't edit anything on it. It's kind of just like a screenshot of that dot as it was last edited.
Jamie's saying the drive icon is not showing up.
That's the same thing with saying. So at the end, I can go over how to find your drive. Yeah.
Megan is saying she doesn't see a drive icon. And that's the same issue.
Yeah. So do you want me? I'll go into that right now.
So yeah, if you're somebody who isn't seeing drive, Matt's gonna show you kind of the fix for that.
So I'll add this also to the instruction document, and also add this website to the CCSU 21 links for everyone too. You want to go to myviewboard.com. You put that in the chat.
Yes.
And then once you're here, go to sign in. Sign in with Google.
They're saying you're cutting out a lot.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, go to myviewboard.com, sign in, sign with Google, and once you're at this screen, go to this little person here called Follow Me setting. And then go to Cloud Integration on the left here. And then here's where you bind your Google Drive. Once you bind it, then when you log into the Whiteboard app, you'll be able to save and open files from your drive. And like I said, I will write up instructions and link it into the cheat sheet as well.
Amanda says, is there an advantage to choosing window or entire screen?
Probably similar to when you're sharing stuff with Google Meets, the less that you're sharing, the better. So if you can do a tab, that's probably the best way, especially with videos.
All right. Any other questions? Do you want Matt to re-demonstrate how he did something? Is there something that we didn't address that you had questions about? How do we just present slideshows?
Oh, for that, it's just like the projector. You'll either wirelessly connect to the display or connect via an HDMI cable, and it'll just be displayed on the screen like a projector.
Can you show them?
Yeah. So. So I'm going to wirelessly connect to the display.
So right now, Matt's doing what we will often do is we're just gonna be presenting, like casting something from our computer. He's logging in here. He's using that one-time password. He's got 6 seconds left to enter that password.
Yeah, it's a little stressful with the countdown, so I'm just going to wait till the.
Okay. So he just waited for the new password.
And unfortunately, we can't change that time.
But again, you generally will only have to enter that long display code once. So the only thing you'll have to enter each time you connect is that little 4-digit password.
So yeah, now I'm connected to the display, and I'm just presenting a slideshow like normal on this one.
If I just if you this, and Amanda's asking, if you just put one tab, how do you switch to another tab? So that's where you would want to probably present.
A window. Yeah, I think if you switch tabs, you'll have a little window that says you want to present this tab instead. I think it works similar to how Google Meet works with screen sharing.
But if you know you're going to be, displaying multiple tabs, you might just have those tabs in one window and then just present that whole window if you don't want to get prompted to switch your tabs. And Melissa's asking, how can our students present from their Chromebooks?
Same way that you can with the wireless display app. They can go to this URL and then type in the same code and password, and they'll have the same options that you guys have with your laptops. Or there'll be dongles in the LMC for them to connect with an HDMI cable.
Which they would need if they're gonna do some kind of video presentation or something. Okay. Debbie says, you mentioned when it's presenting wirelessly, you can't use the writing feature.
You can't do touch interact. You can't. So touch input on the board won't interact with your laptop. But if you, so let me connect back to the board. All right, so if I have this open, then this toolbar is available no matter what screen you're on. So you tap on that, and then the drawing tool, and you can annotate over whatever is displayed on the board. So no matter what is on the board, this toolbar will always be available for you to draw over anything that's displaying currently on the display.
But you can't tab and go to have it be interactive, right?
No, yeah.
So you can draw on it, even if it's displaying wirelessly. You can't click stuff using your hands on the board.
In order to click stuff, you'll need to connect the HDMI cable and the USB cable. Then I would be able to advance a slide or tap on links, things like that.
And so Anthony's saying, if we're using the internet browser online to present, do we have the option to use either our laptop or by touchscreen? But again, that's the same question.
Yeah, I would probably avoid using the browser on the board just because your laptop is much better. And when in doubt, I think HDMI cable is probably should be your go-to for most things. It's just the most foolproof and best way of displaying things.
Beth says if we're presenting an interactive slideshow, can we move pieces on the screen instead of on our touchpad? Again, if you're connected
With the USB cable, yes. Yeah.
with that. Laura says, could you show please the one-time password? So I think, do you mean like if you're wanting to go and connect your laptop again to the board wirelessly?
Yeah, so you'll open up the display app, which looks like this. Oh,
I'll stop sharing. See it.
Sorry, Matt's already connected. So if you weren't connected and he tapped on that display icon, he would see that. So that display code for this board in this room at London never changes, but the one-time password, it always changes. Karen is asking, how do you sanitize or clean the screen?
We're going to be working with operations to develop a protocol for cleaning, but I think that'll be the custodian. Oh, someone sharing their screen.
Oh, hey.
Who's
Nice.
It works. Yeah, it works as long as you have an internet connection. It works. So
you
Let's
guys
see
at
where you're-
home could actually present to this
someone
screen.
and someone is. Let's see who's doing it.
Let's see what they share.
Oh,
Okay, any other questions? Where Matt and I are here. So feel free to, move on to other things in your day if you'd like, but we'll stay here and answer any more questions you might have. The best thing to do is just to turn on your board and try different things. Think about the stuff that you guys do when you're teaching. Try it out, and if you have questions, definitely refer back to that guide because it's really pretty comprehensive. We are going to add those additional instructions if you're not seeing your Google Drive found in your board. Karen's asking, can you show how to bind your computer again?
yeah.
Sure.
All right. So you'll go to myviewboard.com. And then sign in. You'll click, it automatically log in, but you'll click sign in with Google. And then once you're on this screen, tap on or click on the follow these settings, this little person on the top. And on the left side, cloud integration. And then here is where you'll be able to find your Google Drive. Like I said, I will link instructions for this in the cheat sheet and also add the myviewboard.com to CCSU 21 links. Anything else?
So the screen was mounted on the far right of the classroom. Will students sitting in the far left of the classroom be able to see without any problem? Do the screens swivel since we have to keep the 3-foot distance?
If they should, the viewing angles are pretty good on these boards. I don't know the exact viewing angles, but if it becomes an issue, these don't swivel, but if it becomes an issue, we can work out a plan to have the board relocated if it is an issue. So if it is an issue, I would say put in a ticket with us, and then we'll go from there.
Because typically the boards were located close to where the whiteboards were, right?
They were, most of the time, they were installed where the projector was, if not more towards the center of the room. In some cases, we had to go left or right. So if there's an issue, put in a ticket and we'll work with you guys.
Okay. Other questions, things you want to see? If somebody wants to try.
You want to display on? Yeah.
Displaying. So Matt, if you guys, anybody right now at home or wherever you are, wants to go to myviewboard.com/display and then type in that display code there and then this one-time password, you could try it and just see what it looks like. I really want someone to do that. There's still people in this meeting.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, somebody is.
see what they have. Oh.
And so Matt, being here in the room, he could have drawn or annotated whatever it was that you shared. So like if you had a student, you could say, hey student, can you connect to the board really quick? And they could flash up their screen, and then if you as the teacher or that student or whoever could come up and could annotate on whatever they've shared, displayed.
Yeah, so students, all they need to do is go to this URL. We can talk about putting that for students in a managed bookmark folder too for them.
Oh yeah.
And then they'll just have to enter in the code and the password, and they'll be able to connect to the board like teachers can.
So Melissa's asking, and I think, Matt, I just asked you this question yesterday. Mm-hmm. Can you split the screen and have more than one student present at a time?
Unfortunately, no, not at this time, no.
Yeah, so no, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Heather's saying, I found my Google Drive, but it still won't let me sign in on my keyboard when in the whiteboard.
You might need to restart. Oh, that's a good point. So try restarting your board. So if you hold down that physical power button until a pop-up comes up, then shut it down, just like restarting your computer. So for most issues, like your laptop, shutting down and turning back on fixes like 90% of issues. Basically our job.
Yeah, restart.
So yeah, hold it down until the thing comes up, say okay, it'll shut down, and then press the power button again to bring it back up. And if you're still having issues, then put a ticket in. And the tech support specialist for your school has been trained in the board, so they should be able to help you too. So. Oh. Keep asking questions if you guys have. We'll be here until no one else is here.
So I have the option of binding my Google Classroom. Do I want to do that also with my Drive, or?
We haven't looked into that yet, so I would probably say no for now, so we don't do anything.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I can since, and actually I'll take off Google Classroom from the binding. So.
Okay.
So yeah, just do Google Classroom. Well, so that's a good point. So we'll have more advanced training with ViewSonic because we have hours allocated from them later in the year, hopefully when things slow down, like in September. So there'll be even more tools. Like this is just scratching the surface of what's possible with these boards, just to get you guys started for the start of school year.
Melissa's saying, did you say the links can be interactive if you are connected with a wire?
If you're connected with HDMI and the USB touch cable, then you can touch interaction with the board will translate to your laptop. We can demo. It's just hard to because the thing's over there. I don't know if you want to demo it, but it'd have to be, I think, your laptop. Because mine's tethered.
Right. Yeah. I guess you might as well.
Yeah,
I mean, so we're going to demonstrate. We're going to connect my laptop, and so we're going to demonstrate what it looks like to be hardwired and displaying from your laptop, and then being able to interact with that. So if you guys want to stick around, we'll do that right now. Andrew is saying there are USB ports on the board itself and on the white box. Which one should we use?
For the document camera, use the ones on the board. The ones on the white box are for the touch input. Oh, right here. There's the touch input. So USB port 1.
So I'm connecting my laptop right now, and I need 2 cables. I need the HDMI cable, which is what we always have used to connect to the projector. And then I also need the USB cable, which is what we'll see like.
Other stuff.
So 2 cables if you want to connect wired to the board. And so in your tech box, you'll get those.
Yeah, you'll get a USB cable and an HDMI cable. So Alicia has connected the USB cable and HDMI cable now. So now I can interact with her laptop from the board. So I can open up a new tab, pretty much, treat it like a touchscreen, like an extension of your touchscreen of your laptop. Open your tab, open up different links, things like that. And also, if like you have a Jamboard, you can open up a Jamboard and even, interact with it or interact with your Jamboard.
And this is definitely the way to do it, as opposed to using the browser that's on your board.
Yes, yeah.
Like, don't use that browser on the board. Just hook up your laptop and use your browser from your laptop.
Your laptop is more powerful than what is on board on these displays.
Yes. No to Google Classroom, Sandy. We're gonna take that option off for now. We haven't really explored it, so just do bind your Google Drive for now. Yeah, thanks, Roberta. Okay. Anything else? So both, yes, Melissa, both the HDMI and the USB are connected to the white box. And they're labeled nicely too. So you'll just connect the HDMI to the one that's labeled HDMI, and then there's the USB one too.
So yeah, the ports on the board are only for the document camera. Just to reiterate that, yeah.
That's a good distinction.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? So I can see Amanda's question. Up right on top.
Yeah. So let's say Alicia is presenting. This is a PowerPoint for our purposes. Then tap on the floating toolbar on the right or left side. Tap on the drawing tool. It'll freeze the screen, take kind of a screenshot, and then you can draw over whatever's on the screen.
Yeah, good. We weren't sure how it would go doing something so like physical on a virtual meet, but hopefully this has been helpful for everybody. Again, try it out on your own board, and then let us know if you have a question. Can you please go over how you get the sound to come out of the ViewSonic when presenting?
So if you have a hardwire, you have to make sure that this is set to. So in the bottom right corner of your laptop, when you're connected, tap on the speaker icon in the bottom right, and then make sure this says IFP 7550. If not, then tap on the drop down and then select that. And then make sure the volume is turned up on both the board and your laptop.
Where is the board volume?
The board volume can be found on the remote or the physical volume buttons down on the bottom right hand side of the screen.
Is that on the document yet?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What if you do not have that option?
Krista, are you trying to? How are you connected, through HDMI or through wirelessly?
I'm connected wirelessly.
So,
Go ahead. Wirelessly. Okay. Make sure that you have, when you're about to present your screen, make sure you check that box in the bottom left corner called Share Audio, or I can pull that up now. I'll share my screen again. So on this screen, when you're about to present, select your option, tap on the screen, and make sure this checkbox, Share Audio, is selected.
and then click on share. And then you should be able to project audio from your device through the board.
What was that again, Nick? Could you show that again?
Yep.
I want to make sure I'm tuned.
So when you're wireless casting, I'll wait for the code to. I should ask ViewSonic if we can change the timer, yeah, because I know like even Mike, it's like people will get stressed out with the 30 seconds. So when you're on this screen, select your option, and then select on the screen you want to present, and then make sure this checkbox, share audio, is selected, and then click share.
Okay, Anthony's saying I was able to power on my board yesterday and use the internet browser and whiteboard app. However, I would still need to connect the HDMI cables, etc., and then log in with the display app with my display code password. Correct?
So there's the two different ways to connect to the board are both wired and wireless. So wired, if you have the HDMI cable connected, you don't need to use the display code. The display code is only for wireless connections to the board.
So if you plug in your HDMI, connect it to your computer, it'll and the USB, it'll automatically.
Yeah, it should automatically switch. If you plug the HDMI cable into the AV box and then your computer, the board should automatically switch the HDMI input to and display whatever's on your laptop.
So it should be instant. If you don't have yourself connected to those cables, then you're going to need that display code and the password if you're going to connect wirelessly.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? Yeah. These are great questions, you guys. I've actually never used this board really myself, so I'm learning a lot. Anything else? Okay, well, I think we can end then. So thank you guys again for coming, and enjoy, have fun with it, and let us know if you have any questions. Definitely use that document as a great reference. All right.
All right, thanks guys.
Bye.
See you.